Starting off at number 10 is the mind-blowing subject of ever-burning lamps, which were found within tombs of many ancient civilizations. These lamps managed to stay lit for an exceptional amount of time without any human intervention, and even today, scientists are unable to fully explain their functionality. Used by a number of ancient civilizations, including the Egyptians and Greeks, these lamps were often placed in the tombs of greats to light them for eternity. The lamps could burn for hundreds of years, and according to a story, during the Byzantine Empire, a single lamp burned for at least 500 years. Many of these ever-burning lamps were uncovered during King Henry's raids and followed St. Augustine's claims that they were the work of the devil. While it is doubtable that these lamps were the work of the devil, it is still an unexplained mystery to this day. Could it be faulty reporting? Could it be that the genius behind this practice was lost over the centuries? A recent and valuable clue to the mystery is liquid mercury, which was found near many of the civilizations that used these lamps, and the fact that some researchers reported feeling ill after leaving the tombs. This led to the theory that the lamps were fueled by mercury, which could be what made them burn for such extended periods of time under the right circumstances. While today this practice is mostly out of date, these clues are quickly nearing the mystery of ever-burning lamps to a close, and this theory, along with similar ones, are seemingly the most likely. But it would not help to explain the ever-burning blue flame that exists in the ancient Hindu temple of Jwalaji, which is said to have been burning since the beginning of time. The stone balls of Costa Rica are a collection of over 300 mysterious spheres made of stone, which were discovered in southern Costa Rica in the 40s as the land was being cleared for banana plantations. The size of the stones varies, the largest being 8 feet in diameter and weighing 16 tons. As does the degree of the finishing, leaving many incomplete stone balls to still be found in the regions today. Little is actually known about the stones and how or why they came to be. Since they seemingly have no purpose, many strange myths surround these stones. Some say they're relics from Atlantis, gifts from nature, and many have proposed them to be devices left by aliens. But one of the leading researchers on the topic says the stones were created by a culture that went extinct after the Spanish conquest. Since there is no written record from the cultures of this time, it takes a great deal of effort to recreate the history, since it has to be formed mostly from archaeological evidence. Research has found that they were constructed from a variety of stone, including gabbro, limestone, and basalt, which were most likely hammered and then finished with sand. Pinpointing the exact date of the stone's construction is difficult for researchers, but the stones have been attributed to the extinct Aquis culture, which thrived from 700 to 1530 AD. Located off the coast of Chile lies the infamous Easter Island. Lined with at least 900 monumental statues, known formerly as moai, the Rapa Nui people were the primary inhabitants from the 10th to 16th centuries. With each statue weighing an average of 14 tons, creating and moving the statues around the island must have taken a considerable amount of effort. How and why these massive statues were built, mounted, and buried as they are is unknown, as well as what happened to this society that created some of the most recognizable monuments on the planet. By the time the Europeans first arrived on the island in 1722, the land was reported to be desolate, with little to no presence of the civilization. With little written or oral account of the Rapa Nui people, finding out anything about the civilization has been a challenge. Until recently, it was widely unknown that the moai actually have bodies buried beneath the earth. After unearthing the statues, researchers discovered further information to help uncover more clues about the lost civilization. The bottoms of the statues made it fairly easy to move them, with 2 teams working together on a rope, which can be seen in this video released by National Geographic in 2012. This helps to debunk a previous theory that deforestation on the island was caused by the Rapa Nui in order to transport these massive statues. Learning more about these statues and how they were transported has greatly evolved solving the mysteries that may eventually lead researchers to uncovering what actually happened that resulted in the extinction of the Rapa Nui society. Other clues that have been found are the presence of spearheads, which may signify conflict over a lack of resources, and the Polynesian rat, which multiplies in great numbers and was thought to have been consumed by the Rapa Nui. While many clues have been found and the mystery is still being investigated, it is still unknown what happened to the society that built one of the most impressive set of monumental structures in history. In a desert about 200 miles outside of Lima, Peru, the Nazca Lines have baffled and intrigued researchers since their discovery in the 1930s. These mysterious lines span over a plain stretching 37 miles in length, 1 in width, and are believed to have been made by the Nazca culture between the year 500 BC and 500 AD. Forming into at least 70 animals, from monkeys to spiders to hummingbirds, as well as trees, flowers, and geometric shapes, these pictures cannot be made out except for from a great distance above because of their scale. What led to their initial discovery was the development of flight, which actually enabled people to see the lines from afar. With pictures spanning from over 600 feet across, these huge lines are precise in measurements and angles and consist of over 10,000 lines. Some of the first theories were that they were constructed by aliens or that they functioned as ancient aircraft runways. But more recently, after studying the Nazca culture, more modern theories have taken a new direction into that of religion and ritualism. One theory claims that the lines were used to worship deities and that the figures were meant to invoke the gods to bring water to the area. There is still not a clear answer to this date, but new clues include the fact that the lines are not only visible by aircrafts, but can be seen from the tops of nearby hills, and also that there are commonalities and patterns between the Nazca Lines and the ancient textiles. The Terracotta Army is one of the most incredible structures ever discovered and one of the greatest mysteries in China to this day. In China's Shaanxi province, at least 8,000 ceramic life-size soldiers and hundreds of horses and other figurines remain neatly organized in underground pits. This ceramic army was only recently discovered in 1974 by farmers digging a well nearby, and other figurines, including those of acrobats, officials, and other characters, were also found in nearby pits. The incredible monument sits east of an acropolis, and this army is thought to serve as protection of the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, who was buried there in 209 BCE. What makes the scene most unbelievable is that each of the soldiers have distinctive features and are as unique as an actual human from head to feet. After analysis by researchers, it is believed that the large army was modeled after the real-life army that fought for the great emperor. By observing the traits of the ears of each of the statues, they are as distinctive as fingerprints are in humans, and has led researchers to believe that each statue is representative of a real-life person of the past. Egypt is the land of countless mysteries of ancient civilization. The unfinished obelisk in Aswan, Egypt is one of the most intriguing mysteries as it remains. What would have been to this day the largest and most incredible obelisk somehow became an abandoned project to never be raised. The obelisk measures 120 feet in height and is estimated to weigh over 1,200 tons. While little is known about the obelisk or why it was abandoned as it was, the obelisk itself gave many clues to researchers, helping to further piece in the great mystery of ancient Egypt by giving deeper insights into the Egyptian stoneworking methods and the materials they used. The Longview Caves are another only recently discovered mystery to surface in China. In Zhejiang province, as a villager decided to pump the water out of one of the underground caves in the region in 1992, the first of many immense, man-made underground caves was revealed. After weeks of pumping out the water, the symmetrical and intricately designed caves revealed that they were not created by nature. At least 24 caves have been discovered in the village, which contain tens of thousands of square feet, potentially making them the largest underground excavation by the ancients. The chisel work within the caves form a neat and uniform design throughout, which is thought to be symbolic by many. A valuable clue revealed was when the design within the caves was linked to pottery found in a nearby museum dating back to 500 BC. How the caves managed to keep their integrity over the past 2,000 years is a great wonder to many, and these caves are considered by the Chinese to be the ninth wonder of the ancient world. The Xian Da Dong, located in southern China, is a large cave that exists over 5,000 feet above sea level. What makes this cave the most mysterious are the remains that were found within it. With remains of gigantors such as the elephant-type stegodons and lumbering rhinoceros existing in the cave, how these large animals would get into such a high point is one of the greatest mysteries to researchers on the topic. Another thing to baffle researchers is that these animals are not usually those to reside in caves, but there were many remains of them present in the cave, representing the creatures at various ages. It is widely believed that the animals did not put themselves there, and by analyzing the bones, which show signs of burning and cutting, some intervention by an intelligent species is likely a factor in the mystery. While there are many unanswered questions about the mystery as a whole, the hominid teeth found in the caves could be a major factor in solving the mystery, as well as serving as valuable evidence for other scientific research. This site is one of the few areas to be named as a natural preservation site by the Chinese government. Off the coast of Cuba lies an underwater city that very little is known about. At about half a mile in depth, some very peculiar statues were discovered, spanning over an area to cover almost a square mile. Researchers involved in the study believe the statues must have been man-made because of their intricate design featuring smooth lines and geometric shapes. The careful organization and symmetry make it very unlikely that it was an act of nature. Theories of how these statues wound up where they were include flooding, rises in sea level, earthquakes, and many more, though little has been proven and much more remains mysterious and unknown. Some believe these underwater statues to represent the lost city of Atlantis, but many disagree with this claim after comparing and looking at the evidence. One of the most likely explanations is that the structures were part of a civilization that settled on the land bridge that once joined Mexico and Cuba centuries before it crumbled. Amazingly, this was not the only case of underwater remains of past civilizations to be found in the ocean. Multiple underwater structures have been found in various areas, including off the coast of Okinawa, Japan, and Alexandria, Egypt. The Mayan civilization presents one of the greatest mysteries of our time. At its peak, the civilization was estimated to have 2 million people and was seemingly an incredibly advanced and successful civilization. Many are baffled by the question of what happened to it, as well as understanding everything they left behind. Most concerning was the Mayan calendar, which, with its abrupt ending, left many to believe that it marked the end of the world. While of course we know that the world didn't end in 2012, it is still a mystery as to why the calendar ended as it did. One thing that is not widely known is that the Mayan calendar system is still used in some regions, and that there are areas of South America where the Mayan language is still spoken. Another clue to recently surface is the blue hole found off the coast of Belize. By analyzing sediment from the blue hole and comparing it to that within the waters closer to the mainland, researchers were able to give an estimate of past rainfall, which led them to the conclusion of a lengthy drought that lasted from the 11th to 12th centuries, which is just about the time when the Mayan civilization was believed to have crumbled. Naturally, during these times, with drought came unrest, famine, and death, which very well could have fallen upon the Mayans. Based on the clues today, it is very likely that most of the ancient civilizations suffered through the drought, and those who survived managed to do so by migrating and joining other tribes within the surrounding areas.